and Julie joins us from Houston, Texas. She has over 20 years of experience in the multifamily industry with a broad range of expertise, ranging from sales and digital marketing, new business development, and property operations. And in fact, she's, I think, the only speaker today who has held positions in the industry similar to the ones that you are holding. And that means that she can probably relate very well to your job and challenges, and I bet she has some great ideas and suggestions. So please welcome Julie.
Hey there. So I am the Director of Digital Marketing for CWS Apartment Homes. I've been with them since 2010. And during that time, we have seen a rapid rate of growth. Every year we acquire, several properties. It keeps us busy. We're happy about that. But today, we own and manage over 22,000 units across the country, and they have a net worth of $3 billion market value. So with this rapid rate of growth, what we recognized was that, at some point we've got to slow down and really look at what our brand awareness is in the markets that we operate, and also our online reputation as well. We also recognize that, our external customers and our internal customers were engaging in conversations about a brand every day, and we wanted to be an active participant in that. We also realized that brand and reputation are either introduced online or they're reinforced online. So the first thing we wanted to do was, take a look at where we were at. So we went ahead and took a look at our digital space. And what we found was that, the foundation for this really important brand conversation was in disarray. We had multiple Facebook pages. Some were friend pages, some were business pages. We had unmonitored Twitter accounts. We had, Instagram accounts that had nothing in them. We were overwhelmed, but we didn't panic. We went ahead and took it back up to the macro level and said, we need to figure out what it is that we want. So what we determined was that we wanted to leverage social media in a way that portrayed our unique culture, our core values, that we could have a targeted message that would resonate with those external and those internal customers so that they would become brand advocates for us. So now that we knew what we wanted, there was the high-level mission statement, what did we do? So we have been partners with G5 since 2009. And we decided before we, even started to get that targeted message, we want to do a gut check to make sure that the data proved that we knew what we were talking about. So we started creating this data analysis with G5, and it was amazing. The insight we received was, what our customers like, what social media platforms they like to engage in. It was just a really, really great insight to that organic part of our customer that we really don't get to see all the time. Then, of course, we went ahead with the analytics once we kind of knew what that message would be, and we found those pockets of people based on analytics that were going to be receptive to our message. So, like many of you, we knew at CWS that the marketing department did not have the resources to go ahead and clean up that digital space, right? So what we did was we ended up going back into our organization and looking at the regions where we had associates who were passionate about CWS. They embodied our core values. They were excited about learning. And we made them social media captains. So again, with G5, we went ahead and we held our own social media summit in 2015. And we spent the entire day talking about the importance of having a business page. Why it's important to have a consistent brand, persona across all platforms. And from there, the marketing captains went back into the regions. They trained all of the on-site associates that we could then go ahead and have one nice cohesive business page. So after we ended up having all of these things that were completely cleaned up, business pages looked great. We wanted to see what our associates thought was important to post, what they thought an engaging post for our residents was. And it was very eye-opening for us. Because what we found, and I'll talk about this slide in a second, this actual post, but what we found was that, our inside associates got that, hey, we need to have business pages. But they either didn't understand the demographic, they didn't understand why we were using the social media, or they just were doing that to check the marketing box so they can then go help the resident, in the office. So we were looking at this, and although it's very appropriate to share kind of like a midweek funny with your residents, we got a lot going on here. The first one is, guess what day it is, right? And as I review these things, what I try to do is I try to put myself in the customer's shoes, so I can see what it feels like to be on the receiving end of some of these posts. So I can have these weird conversations in my head. So the next thing is, guess what day it is? I'm thinking, well, it must be Wednesday since it's hump day. Next thing is good news, the hot tub is back. Well, where did it go? And then great news, we've got new doors at the front office, come check them out. What happened? We have one leg there. So, we knew that we had some work to do. So, and it took us almost all of 2016, big part of 2016, to get those Facebook pages where we needed them to be. So instead of having the social media captains come to us, the marketing team then went to each one of those regions, and we went ahead and trained them on, what's engagement? How do you, have a two-way conversation? So we really talk about content and consistency. So we created a series of 6 questions, basically. And the premise is that if the on-site associate can answer yes to these 6 questions, then it's okay to post. So the first one is, is the content relevant to my resident? Sounds pretty simple, right? But you would be amazed at the things that residents would go ahead, or our on-site associates would post for residents. And, when we were training, we would sit there and tell the on-site folks, look, if you're a resident who's sitting across the desk from you, and it's not something that you would say in a real world, interpersonal communication, then it's not okay to put on Facebook, right? And so, I gave them an example. The resident comes in and says, hey, Ms. Community Director, I'm here to talk about my rent. You would never respond with, hey, I got great news, the hot tub's back, right? So this is where some of the most irrelevant posts come from, because it's not a communication that goes 2 ways. The next one is it helpful or useful to my residents? We're very fortunate in the multifamily industry because we have so many resources with, our ILSs, for example, some of them have daily blogs. What's important about this is if this is something that you would share and your resident would, come in and talk to you about it, maybe talk to a friend, print it out, actually read it, it's helpful, right? So is it helpful or useful? The other thing is, does it promote my community with a 2-way conversation? And this property was actually coming off of Lisa, and pretty kitchen. And the comment here says, a chef's dream kitchen with tons of granite countertop space. So what? Right? So what? We would make sure that they understood that it couldn't just be a 2-way, like a question that was like yes or no. It actually had to have an open-ended kind of question to it, which brought us to this one. Does it ask for feedback? This post, I think what they were attempting to do is maybe highlight maybe the amenity of the week or something like that. What's interesting is it says, what a beautiful 3rd floor view. Well, we had 7 likes, all from CWS employees. We were very proud of that. And then we had one resident who all he could muster was a question mark in the comment section that we didn't even respond to. So we would say, does it give feedback? Is it, hey guys, we're thinking about this summer of having some kind of an exercise in the pool. Let's send out a survey. What is it that you would like to see? There has to be some engagement back and forth. The other thing is, does it inform and connect you to the community in which you operate in? At CWS Apartment Homes, we believe as business owners, we have an obligation to give back and partner the communities in which we operate in. I'm using Houston as an example here. There is so many things going on in the city, from Super Bowl, professional sports all year long, arts, theater, museums. That right there is content for weeks. The other thing is, does it offer partnership opportunities? And one of the things with our belief that we have an obligation to give back to the communities, we need to be a good business partner and understand that the buildings that we manage also affect the communities outside. You know, at any given time you have, 300 to 500 residents who live under one roof, right? So you have these great businesses that have product and services that your residents would probably want. And so being able to connect those two is beneficial. We would train our associates that this then becomes your outreach marketing. You remember back in the day when it was like, we're gonna go drop some flowers off at the nail salon and then this basket over here, right? This becomes your digital outreach marketing, so you don't have to go and do those things. Now the last part was, gone were the days of the one and done post. Done, check the box, I'm done. We wanted to encourage them to understand that the social media post had to be at least 3 to 5 posts about one topic, all right? So I'm gonna put this all together for you. So we would, for this example here, go ahead and we have got our pool. The first post would be that we were announcing that we were having a pool party in July, right? And we wanna know, fill out our survey, are you the chilling out, in the sun, swimming laps, or are you hanging out in the shade, right? So once you gather the information from the survey, the second post then becomes, you share the information, and you say, based on the survey, we've got 50% of you guys who like to chill out, in the pool, and the other 50% of you like to go ahead and do laps. So based on that, we've got 2 themes for our pool party. We want you to vote. We're gonna do a luau or a reggae party. You have them vote, right? You then share the results and say, hey, we selected luau. Why don't you go ahead and share with us some activities you'd like to do, or recipes, or any great luau stories you've got to share with us. The fourth post then becomes your RSVP, right? And those are always tricky. You have to kind of keep continually asking them. But if you do it in a way that you've shared with us who's coming, now we're going to share with you who the DJ is, who we're bringing. Here's the DJ. And then maybe the next week it's something about, who the caterer is and what the menu looks like. So from there, your next post would be the actual pool party, right? And typically, at pool parties, we don't give away like the gifts and gift cards and all of those raffles. Back in the day, we would do the paper raffle. So what you would do is you have your residents actually checking in. And you would secretly say, okay, we've got the 7th, 20th, and 15th flight, we're gonna win a prize, right? You could even do the caption, this photo, and beautiful luau kind of thing, and go ahead and run the contest that way, so that then becomes your digital raffle ticket. Then, the final post ends up being, thank you to the residents, thank you for coming and making this such a great success. Please share your photos with us. But the one piece that has to be woven through that entire campaign is the business partnership. Let's say the DJ you got for the party was across the street. So make sure that when you're promoting these things that you're mentioning that business. The other thing we did was we created branded hashtags. So across the entire company, anyone who does a social post will have CWS apartment homes, CWS whatever region it is, the apartment community name, and maybe sometimes the fourth would be about what the content of the other post was about. Now, what was funny is after we finally get them going and they get the campaigns and questions and they're doing really good, we heard, I'm just running out of things to post about, I don't know what to do anymore, I'm just not that creative. So what we've done is we've given them a social media footprint. And we give it to them quarterly, and using Houston as the example again, we would say, this week you need to have 5 to 7 posts about the Super Bowl. Next week you need to have 5 to 7 posts about the Grammys. Next week it might be 3 about Groundhog's Day. Every quarter we end up doing one national day, so it might be National Hamburger Day. So we go ahead and we give them the content. And the beauty to it is, with the branded hashtags, they have the ability to create whatever they want. So it's still unique. It's not this cookie cutter across the company. Now, one of the things that we had kind of this aha moment, we started this process back in 2015, and here we are in 2016, we're kind of doing some good quality posts. What we realized was that we were building our business identity in a new digital space for us. And we've always understood that our reputation is deeply connected to our business identity. We believe that outside of our people, the most valuable asset that we have is our reputation. So, what we did in 2017 is we've gotten branded profiles with apartment ratings. We've had a partnership with Allison, the customer loyalty program, for several years. We have branded profiles with Yelp. We've got beautiful Facebook pages now. And of course, G5 manages our plus pages where those reviews live. So now that we have this great branded way to respond to online reviews, what we've done is we've created this business intelligence tool. And what you'll see here is, this one is for Yelp. What this tool manages is, how many reviews have we gotten week over week? How many of them are responded to? How many are not responded to? What's the average star rating? And because this is a new company initiative, what we decided to do was say, look, across all 5 platforms, you must have at least an 85% compliance rate. And that just means that you need to have at least 85% of your reviews responded to. In a perfect world, we would want 100, we're in that cleanup effort, and let's go ahead and give our associates an attainable goal. Because to say 100% across the board, there's never gonna be any buy-in on that. And same thing with the star rating. We're saying right now that it's a 3.5% star rating. What's been really interesting for us is that we've grouped it then by regional director of operations, who's responsible for that portfolio. We've been able to identify some very interesting customer service challenges that we didn't even realize that we had. And we're able to put a proactive plan in place for them. This is kind of our Fitbit of reputation, where we're actually able to respond in a proactive way and create plans for reputation instead of being so reactionary. Now, we were very excited to see that all this hard work and diligence. Jay Turner goes ahead and does the online reputation assessment every year, right? And they look at 63,000 properties, they look at 10 or 11 online review platforms, and all the monthly ILSs. And they take the top 1% and they post the top 50. And we were really happy that one of our communities made it in number 19 spot on the 50. So that was like validation, that we, okay, we're going the right way. But the other thing that we decided that we would do is, we've gone ahead and we're exploring the idea of creating a bonus program for our on-site associates and the community directors and the regional directors that will reward them for, really great response time, really great star ratings. So it will be interesting to see where 2017 goes. Looking back, from where we were to where we are, we've come a long way. We're not perfect. We've got so much more work to do. But I'm excited to see where we're going in 2017. So thank you for your time. And Nicole and I have left some time for questions. So if you have any.
Who has questions? Anyone?